Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon OmegaRuby. I'm your host, the PokeGamer. In the last episode, we kind of did the whole Scorch Slab thing. We kind of looked around in there, and I don't remember what all you can actually do in there. I think there might be like a secret thing that you can do in there. I can't really remember. I think I've done it before. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to re-look into it just to make double sure. And I'll mention it in the next episode, of course. But yeah, we went to go visit there, and we kind of got started on the whole Route 120 thing, or at least, you know, the later part of it that we couldn't really do until, well, we could have done it whenever, I guess, but we kind of did the gym, you know, before that, and obviously that was more important. So, I mean, it's just how things are. I mean, would you have rather done 120 rather than the gym leader? I don't know. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be continuing through Route 120, making our way to Route 121. I believe the number is. I'm almost 100% positive it's 121. We're going to make a very quick stop at the Safari Zone, mainly to heal, even though I think I kind of messed up, and I think there might be an NPC that you can just get random health recovery from. I could be wrong. I mean, we could have done Secret Power too, but if I'm not mistaken, Linoon has 4 HMs. I was gonna call them hidden machines for some reason. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna make a little bit of a stop at the Safari Zone for a little bit of healing. And then we're going to be making our way to Mount Pyre, so something to, you know, look forward to. So before we get too far into this, I do want to make another reminder for anyone that may not have heard it yesterday. For those of you who have the Omega and AlphaSapphire, or OmegaRuby and AlphaSapphire games, which is obviously this event's worldwide, so anyone that has the game, the current event that's going through the Nintendo Network is due to end on Wednesday, and it's the event that gives away the special shiny Beldum holding a Metagross, which, you know, obviously allows for it to Mega Evolve whenever it becomes a Metagross. And yeah, it's been running from the launch and unlocks a few small bits of text here and there around the game, should you take it around with you on, or, you know, throughout the Hoenn region. So you have until tomorrow basically to get that. So I highly recommend that you do, or at least the end of tomorrow. I think it works at the end of tomorrow, not like the second that it becomes tomorrow. If it becomes tomorrow, then you might want to get it like ASAP, like right now, because I mean, otherwise you're going to miss out on the event. Most people got the games as of the release, and as a result, they should already have the, you know, the Metang, or not the Metang, the Beldum. So, yeah, I mean, just throwing that out there. It's something you should probably make sure you get if you haven't already gotten it. So, believe it or not, yesterday I believe it was. Yesterday was my first time playing any kind of like OU related battle in OmegaRuby and AlphaSapphire format, and part of this was because a friend of mine had asked me to build him, for whatever reason, a Baton Pass Lopunny team, and I was like, I kind of like Lopunny. I mean, I don't really like the design all that much, but I do like the concept behind it. The fact that it has Scrappy, it has a very good move pool. It's a very solid Pokemon. And apparently it's seeing a lot of play in the metagame at the moment. Of course, I could be, you know, wrong, but a lot of people tend to see it as a very threatening Pokemon when it comes out. In a way, I'd say it's very similar to Greninja, where it can be a major threat if you can't take care of it immediately, as in having something that can actually do something to it right then and there, rather than having to switch into something that can threaten it out. So, I mean, there's that. But, so I decided to make a team for him, and the team I ended up going with was obviously, of course, the Lopunny. Then I added on Excadrill, Latios, Rotom Wash, Clefable, and Landorus Therian. So, explanations for anyone that actually might be curious. The Lopunny is carrying, it's going to be Limber, of course, with the Lopunite. 252 attack, 4 defense, 252 speed, with a jolly nature. The moves of choice, especially whenever it comes to like the best stab moves, high jump, kick, and return are definitely on this set. I've seen, this is kind of like Smogon standard, because I think this is on their thing, I don't really remember. But it also has Ice Punch and Healing Wish. Healing Wish is a good way to kind of fodder off Lopunny whenever it's done everything that it can, or you can get after you've milked it for everything that you could. So it's kind of just, you know, something like that. It also allows you to kind of freely switch in a Pokemon and fully heal it. So if you have a Pokemon in the back that really needs that health and really needs to come in strong, the Healing Wish is there for it. Ice Punch is a very solid move. Scaring out dragons that can otherwise be a pain in your ass. It can also scare out a lot of other just retarded things. Things like Gliscor, which apparently have been increasing in playability. Then there's of course, what's it called? Not Gyarados, but well, in a way, yeah, in a way, no. Because I mean, it's kind of like a neutral type of thing, I guess. I don't know. Return seems like it'd still be better. I think someone somewhere mentioned that it was good against Gyarados. I don't know. But I mean, there's still things like Landorus Therium, which, from what I saw, according to Smogon's like January statistics, Landorus Therium is sitting at the top of the usage stats right now. So, just saying. I mean, that 4 times weakness to Ice Punch is pretty nice. Of course, whenever it comes to Choice Scarf versus Lopunny, I think that Landorus still outspeeds. So I'm not entirely sure. You might have to Ice Punch on the switch, but I mean, I don't know. There's of course still like major threats, like like I mentioned, I think already, dragons. Dragonite's still obviously decent. There's also Garchomp, and even though the Salamence has been banned to Ubers, the Salamence is still sitting in OU. So I mean, you might see someone actually still playing it with maybe like Intimidate or Moxie, depending on what kind of set they might want to run. So having the Ice Punch is just good for things like that. Excadrill is the standard Choice Scarf set, the Mold Breaker type of thing to outspeed a lot of things, and on top of that, Rotom is a very heavily played Pokemon right now, and Heatran's I think increased in playability right now. A lot more people are playing it. So I mean, it's just kind of there to kind of take care of things like that. Being able to rapid spin off any hazards if you feel them to be a pain in your ass. You have Rock Slide for a good rock move of choice. I mean, being able to add speed and potentially flinch. So Run Over is pretty nice. This also kind of applies with Iron Head, and of course Iron Head is a stab move. Then of course you have Earthquake, which is just like one of the most solid moves in the game. So there's no reason to not use it. It is of course a Jolly Nature Choice Scarf with 252 attack, 4 defense, and 252 speed, just like the Lopunny whenever it comes to the EVs. Latios is something that I think a lot of people would expect different from, but this actually works. The Latios is carrying a Life Orb with 252 special attack, 4 special defense, and 252 speed. With a Timid Nature, it's carrying the moves Roost, Draco Meteor, Hidden Power Fire, and Psyshock. Hidden Power Fire is a really useful thing to have. It's kind of hard to place it on any like huge group of Pokemon, of course, but I mean, whenever it comes against things like Ferrothorn and like a few other things, it can kind of take care of that. It's hard to really explain, but it's played pretty well with the Hidden Power Fire. I don't know how standard that actually is, because again, like yesterday was like the first time I've played like competitive OU since OmegaRuby and AlphaSapphire came out. So, but I didn't really need Latios in the battle that I played. I played it on a Showdown just because, you know, why the hell not? I don't have to go searching for an opponent that actually wants to play OU and stuff like that. It's literally right there. So I didn't really get to use the Latios, but in theory, the Hidden Power Fire does work really well. So a lot of people tend to kind of go with the choice item on Latios rather than something like the Life Orb. The Life Orb just kind of allows you to change up your moves, not to mention the access of Roost. So I mean, it's just kind of things like that. Rotom Wash, I would say, is also kind of another one of the standard Pokemon. I know that there are some people that actually choice it. They choice Scarf for even choice Specs. I mean, a choice Specs Hydro Pump can be pretty threatening. This Rotom Wash is carrying a Leftovers with 248 HP EVs, 216 defense EVs, and 44 speed. So I mean, those are the EVs. It's carrying a Bold Nature with the moves Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Will-O-Wisp, and Pain Split. Pain Split actually did a lot of work. It allowed me to cripple my opponent's Dragonite, I believe, as well as at least 2 or 3 other Pokemon. I think that it also ended up allowing me to kill off a Bisharp, which I guess is another thing that Hidden Power Fire is really good for, considering that Dark typing against Latios's, you know, otherwise, you know, Psychic typing, rather than it just being, you know, oh hey, I'm a dragon, you know. So I mean, something else to kind of consider whenever it comes to the Hidden Power Fire. I think whenever it comes to like steel types, you're probably going to run into mostly, you know, Bisharp and Ferrothorn. But I mean, still, just again, nice to have them. So, anyways, the pain split's always been kind of good. It kind of helps, especially against things like Dragonite, sapping away their health, breaking the multi-scale or whatever it's called. I can't remember if it's multi-scale or something else. It's something scale, that's all I remember. But yeah, it's kind of good for taking them out of that, and then of course Will-O-Wisp to cripple physical attackers, Volt Switch to kind of make those predicting switches and being able to tank those moves, so that way you take less damage and get your free switch and stuff like that. It's kind of just one of those things, and of course Hydro Pump being, you know, an extremely powerful stab move. I mean, let's be real. Next up would have to be my Clefable, which happens to have leftovers instead of the Life Orb. And the reason for this is because I kind of went with a more bulky approach. It has Magic Guard, of course, 252 HP EVs, 160 defense EVs, and 96 special defense EVs. It's got a calm nature with the moves Calm Mind, Moonblast, Soft Boiled, and Flamethrower. I'm sure you can kind of guess why it's a tanky thing now. It's one of those kind of Calm Mind tanks where it can kind of take your hits and start kind of building up the Calm Mind and then being able to just do a lot of damage with Moonblast and Flamethrower while having Soft Boiled to help replenish your HP whenever it starts to get low. And you have leftovers to kind of help assist with that. So it's kind of just that annoying Pokemon to have. And then of course the last Pokemon, as I already mentioned on my entire team already, the Landorus Therian carrying a Choice Scarf. Obviously the ability is Intimidate. What else would it have? EVs, it has 252 attack, 24 defense, and 232 speed with a Jolly Nature. Jolly Nature and the speed EVs, like kind of the way that they are, kind of make it, you know, around that 252 mark. So you can kind of afford to put a little bit of other EV investment somewhere else. At least that's how it kind of worked whenever it played out. The moves that it carries are Knock Off, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and U-Turn. Knock Off being able to just get rid of those pesky items. Earthquake is your stab move of choice. You have U-Turn because U-Turn with any choice item Pokemon is usually extremely just amazing. Not to mention it's good against a few Pokemon as well. And then of course Stone Edge to take care of well, a lot of things really. So anyways, as I mentioned before, I'm surprised that it took me 12 minutes to kind of cover all that. I'm sure that people probably got annoyed, but, you know, whatever. You're probably wondering why I'm putting everything in the PC and then taking it back out. For anyone who doesn't actually pay much attention to it, this is something that you actually see a lot in speedruns. Instead of going to, like, Nurse Joy or whatever, and, you know, waiting, like, 10 extra seconds, they can just go to their PC, take the Pokemon, put them in the PC, and then just take them immediately back out, and they'll be fully healed. As you can see, there's, like, a Nurse NPC here. I don't know, you know. Yeah, she's like, they seem to be doing fine, so I'm assuming she actually can heal your Pokemon, so there's no point in me doing any of that, really. But, whatever. I mean, I keep forgetting the area, because, you know, it's been a while since I've actually kind of played through the story, of course. I beat my game in, I don't know, like 3 or 4 days, maybe, at the fastest, because I kind of did want to, you know, retake in that Generation 3 Hoenn region hype type of thing. So, yeah. Anyways, for anyone who doesn't remember or doesn't know about Mount Pyre, it is basically the area where all Pokemon that have passed on have been laid to rest. So, I mean, there's that. Well, there's going to be a lot of trainers here, of course. And then, of course, you saw Team Magma. We're going to have to deal with them, and they're obviously here on this island. Or rather, this, I guess you can call this mountain/island type of thing. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, they're obviously here, so we're going to end up having to deal with them. We're not going to have enough time to obviously get started on that today. We're probably going to take care of all the little other trainers first, and then we're going to probably take on, what's it called, Team Magma. So that way we don't have to worry about them, and then we can get moving on towards Lily Coast City, which we're not too far away from. Honestly, I'd rather go there first, but the story kind of dictates that you want to go here because Team Magma is going here. I mean, you don't have to. You can go into Lily Cove and just, you know, but I'm just kind of following the story a little bit here and dealing with it that way. I'm probably going to have to give Fly finally to Altaria, as much as I don't like the idea of doing that yet. But, whatever. Not much I can really do about that, I guess. Anyways, I kind of already mentioned what we're going to be doing in that episode, but I'll say it again anyways. We're going to continue through Mount Pyre, take on all the trainers inside as well as outside. Outside is where Team Magma is, inside is where everyone else is. So we'll be taking care of that, and then hopefully making our way to Lily Cove City. Or whatever, and yeah, So be sure to stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is the PokeGamer signing out.